You walk into a house you've never been to before, and suddenly a wave of nostalgia hits you. The smell of something baking, maybe cinnamon or fresh bread, and for a split second, you're 6 years old again, standing in your grandmother's kitchen. You can see the floral pattern on her curtains, hear the hum of the old refrigerator, feel the texture of her apron as she wiped your hands. The memory is so vivid, it almost disorients you. Then it's gone, leaving you slightly dazed in a stranger's hallway. That feeling has a name. Scientists call it the Proust effect, after the French writer Marcel Proust, who described being transported back to his childhood by the taste of a Madeleine cookie dipped in tea. But this isn't just poetic reflection, it's a genuine neurological phenomenon. Of all your senses, smell is the only one that takes a direct route to your memory and emotion centers, bypassing the usual processing stations that handle everything else you perceive. In the next 12 minutes, we'll explore why a single whiff of chlorine can transport you back to summer camp, why certain scents trigger memories you didn't know you had, and why perfume companies spend billions trying to bottle experiences rather than just pleasant smells. So why does smell work differently than every other sense? When you see a sunset, that visual information travels through relay stations, the retina, the optic nerve, then the thalamus, which acts as a neurological air traffic controller before finally reaching the parts of your brain that process emotion and memory. The same process happens with sound, touch, and taste. But smell gets a VIP pass. It bypasses the thalamus entirely. The olfactory nerve connects directly to the limbic system, the ancient emotional core of your brain that includes the amygdala, which processes emotion, and the hippocampus, which handles memory formation. This is brain architecture we share with reptiles and early mammals. In evolutionary terms, smell is one of your oldest senses, predating the sophisticated structures that handle most conscious thought. For our ancestors, smell was about survival. Detecting a predator before you could see it, recognizing rotting food, tracking prey, identifying family versus strangers, these capabilities meant the difference between life and death. Remembering which smells were dangerous and which were safe wasn't just useful, it was crucial knowledge that needed to be stored instantly. So evolution gave smell a direct, unfiltered line to memory. This explains why smell memories feel fundamentally different. When you look at a vacation photograph, you're actively retrieving that memory, there's conscious effort involved. But when a smell triggers a memory, it happens automatically, involuntarily. The memory doesn't feel retrieved, it feels relived. Scientists have studied this extensively. In one experiment, researchers at Brown University showed people images while exposing them to different smells. Later, they tested participants' memory of those images, some with the original smells present, some without. The results were striking. People remembered significantly more details when the original smell was present, even when they didn't consciously notice the connection. The scent was working as a memory key, unlocking information their conscious mind had filed away. Here's where it gets more interesting. Smell memories aren't just more vivid, they're consistently more emotional. In studies comparing memories triggered by smells versus those triggered by words, pictures, or sounds, smell-triggered memories were rated as significantly more emotionally intense. The olfactory fast lane means smells don't just remind you of past events, they make you feel the emotions associated with those events all over again. This emotional intensity has a dark side though. The same mechanism that transports you to beautiful childhood moments can resurface traumatic memories with devastating force. A smell present during a traumatic event, antiseptic scent of a hospital, exhaust fumes from an accident can become permanently linked to that memory through fear conditioning. Encountering that smell years later can trigger a full flashback, complete with the original terror. This neurological short circuit is one reason post-traumatic stress disorder can be so persistent. But for most of us, the smell-memory connection is an extraordinary gift. It allows us to access memories that would otherwise remain buried, with a richness no photograph could provide. You can probably remember exactly what your high school hallway smelled like: floor wax, cafeteria, food, teenage bodies. These aren't memories you've consciously preserved, they've been stored automatically, waiting for the right molecular key. Psychologist Rachel Hertz found that people describe smell-triggered memories with extraordinary detail, not just what happened, but how old they were, what they were wearing, who else was present, even the weather. These weren't vague recollections, they were full sensory experiences preserved in remarkable fidelity. This might explain why smell memories feel so powerfully nostalgic. The word nostalgia comes from Greek words meaning homecoming and pain, that bittersweet longing for a past that can't be recovered. Smell memories are particularly effective at inducing this state because they bypass our analytical brain and go straight to feeling. There's also something strange about how smell memories age. Unlike visual or verbal memories, which generally fade over time, smell memories can actually become stronger with time. A scent you haven't encountered in 30 years can trigger a more vivid memory than something you smelled last week. Researchers believe this might be because rare smells have less competition in your neural networks, the pathways haven't been overwritten. But here's something counterintuitive. Our smell memories might not be perfectly accurate. Research shows all memories are reconstructive. Each time you recall something, you're rebuilding the memory, and details can shift or be invented. The same principle likely applies to smell memories. The emotional truth might be preserved with remarkable fidelity, but specific details could be embellishments your brain has added over years. This doesn't make smell memories less meaningful. If anything, it makes them more interesting. Your brain isn't playing back recordings like a video, it's actively constructing your experience of the past, using smell as a key to unlock emotional archives. So what can you do with this knowledge? You can become more intentional about smells in your environment. Research suggests pleasant scents can improve mood, reduce stress, and enhance cognitive performance, partly through the positive memories those scents trigger. This is why real estate agents recommend baking cookies before an open house. It's not just that cookies smell nice. The smell activates positive childhood memories in potential buyers, making them feel emotionally connected to the space without realizing why. You can also use smell deliberately as a learning aid. Studying with a particular scent presents something distinctive, then having that same scent during an exam can improve recall. Some language learners use different essential oils for different subjects, creating scent-based filing systems in their brains. The perfume industry has understood this emotional power for centuries. They're not just selling pleasant smells, they're selling memories, emotions, and identities. When you choose a signature scent, you're choosing the emotional key you want associated with your presence. There's also growing interest in therapeutic applications. Some researchers are exploring whether controlled exposure to particular scents might help patients with dementia access otherwise lost memories. Because the direct pathway from nose to hippocampus bypasses damaged areas, the smell highway might remain open when other routes are blocked. Early studies show promising results. And here's something unexpected: your sense of smell is far better than you think. While dogs detect scents at lower concentrations, recent research suggests humans can distinguish between an estimated 1 trillion different odors. Your nose performs incredibly complex chemical analysis with every breath. Unfortunately, we often only appreciate this sense when we lose it. Anosmia, the inability to smell, can be profoundly distressing. Beyond the obvious dangers of not detecting gas leaks or spoiled food, people with anosmia often report feeling emotionally flattened. Without smell-triggered memories, the world feels less vivid, less connected to personal history. The next time a smell unexpectedly transports you, whether ocean air reminding you of childhood vacation, or dry erase markers taking you back to school, pause and pay attention. Notice what details come rushing back, the emotions that surface. You're experiencing one of your brain's most remarkable features, a built-in time machine refined over millions of years. Your nose isn't just detecting chemicals, it's opening doors to your past that no other sense can unlock. These invisible archives hold vast libraries of your experience, preserved in chemical form, waiting for the right combination of molecules. So when you catch a familiar scent and feel that strange, bittersweet tug of recognition, remember that you're experiencing the Proust effect. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do, connecting smell to memory in a way that bypasses rational thought and goes straight to the emotional heart of experience. And in a world where we increasingly experience everything through screens, there's something profoundly human about a sense that can't be captured, can't be transmitted, can only be experienced directly. Smell remains stubbornly, beautifully analog. It grounds you in your body and your history in a way that nothing else quite can. That's your brain on smell. Pretty remarkable, isn't it?